All right, we're going to stay with Dennis Otieno for our weekly feature, Smart Farm. And stakeholders in the country's agricultural sector have decried low budgetary allocation in this year's budget, saying it jeopardizes the country's food security efforts. Now, many are now calling for a total review of the sector's funding, which they say should be at least 10%, as per the Malabo Declaration. Take a listen to this week's Smart Farm.
The agricultural sector remains the backbone of Kenya's economy, employing close to 70% of the population. But while tabling this year's budget last week, National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Henry Rotich allocated 59.1 billion shillings to the sector out of the 3.02 trillion shilling budget. This represents just about 2.2% of the total budget, leaving stakeholders in the sector stunned.
When the pronouncement is less than 2%, my fear is that the actual disbursement will be less than maybe about 0.5 or 0.6%, which is actually a tragedy to agriculture.
If you look at the total percentage allocations to agriculture, it now includes lands and planning. So the component that is to agriculture and food specifically is actually slightly less than 3.1%. It's about 2.53%.
The allocation falls far below the 2014 Malabo Protocol, where African countries committed to allocate 10% of their national budgets to agricultural investment and adoption of improved technologies.
The agricultural sector really needs a rethinking. It needs to be well resourced, and we need to put in more money. We need to have a bigger budget so that we can have our farmers accessing seed, using new technologies, using cutting-edge science.
Experts have also faulted the government for having misplaced priorities. In the budget, the government allocated 1 billion shillings for crop diversification and Miraa revitalization, 7.8 billion shillings for ongoing irrigation projects, 2 billion shillings to boost value addition efforts, a 3 billion shilling coffee cherry fund, and 800 million shillings for rehabilitation of fish landing sites.
It's unfortunate that when you look at the structure of the budget, a lot of those things have been dropped. We don't have the subsidy programs, either for fertilizer, for insurance.
If you look at the fiscal policies that were spoken about in yesterday's budget reading, they are not targeting smallholder farmers. Is that in the last 5 years, we've in fact seen a declining trend in allocations to agriculture.
But the national government has defended the sector's allocation, adding that county governments also have a role to play in ensuring food security.
We all 47 counties have to be amalgamated for expenditures on agriculture, then added to the national government. And then there is also a definitional issue. The definition in Maputo includes things to investment in forests, so you have to look at what are we putting in the environment where there is agroforestry. You have to look at some irrigation. You have to look at blue economy and aquaculture.
I think you and me know that the total budget to counties is actually very small. It's always contested.
Yes, it is the county's mandate and it is their responsibility because agriculture is a devolved function, but they will lead from the policy focus. How they will spend that money will be determined by a fiscal policy approach that's adopted by the national government.
According to stakeholders, a struggling agricultural sector is likely to affect manufacturing industry, which relies on the farmer for raw materials. Dennis Otieno, Smart Farm.